Hi guys, I'm going to go over the interactive notebook because a lot of parents had questions about the notebook order and students as well. So I'm going to go through in detail what belongs in your notebook. First of all, let's go through the supplies. All students must have a three subject notebook. The one subject notebooks will not work because they aren't big enough. They have to have three subjects for organization purposes. You'll also need scissors, glue sticks or tape. A lot of students last year wanted to use the colorful tape, the different decorative tapes. Those are fine for your notebook. You can also use the two-sided tape as well. You'll need colored pencils or crayons. I prefer colored pencils. Crayons get a little messy when they break. One thing I do not like is regular pencil in the notebook because it smudges like this. And when your notebook smudges, it makes your pages look dirty. So these are your materials that you'll need for your notebook. Now, when we go over the pages in the notebook, I'll either say left side or right side. Typically, when you think of a notebook, you think of the front of the page or the back of the page. Well, in the interactive notebook world, it's left and right side. So if I say the front of the page, when I say the right side, I'm referring to the front of the page. When I say the left side, I'm referring to the back of the page. So this will be the front of the page or the right side, and this will be the back of the page or the left side. In regard to page numbers, the page numbers belong at the very bottom of the page, or you can put them at the top, whichever is more convenient for you. I'm not really particular about where you put the page number as long as I can see it on the page. The odd numbers should be on the right side. So if you have an even number on the right side, your pages are not in the correct order. The even numbers should be on the left side, which would be the back of the page. So odd numbers on the right, even numbers on the left. Okay, so the interactive notebook basically accommodates multiple learning styles at one time in and out of the classroom. So a lot of times if a student does not understand something that is talked about in the classroom, but when they make it home, they can go through their notebook and it'll make a little bit more sense once they start working on the worksheets. The purpose of the interactive notebook is to enable students to be creative, independent thinkers and writers. Interactive notebooks will be used for class notes as well as for other activities in which you will be asked to express your own ideas and process the information in class. A lot of times when we're working in our notebooks, like the first chapter, we'll be talking about the health triangle. Visually, it may be easier for someone to remember the physical side of the health triangle because they know that they colored it red. Or the social side, they know that they colored that blue. So now you're associating words with color. So that's why I encourage students to be as creative as possible. If you're maybe a black and white thinker, you may do just black and white pictures in your notebook, and that's fine as long as everything is done creatively. Um, as far as like with the decorative tapes, you may spend so much time on one page that you literally are memorizing the information because you're spending so much time on that particular page and you're paying attention to the detail. So even though you don't think that you're paying attention to the words or the different maps or the different worksheets that are in the notebook, you are paying attention to them because you're decorating them, you're coloring them, you're constantly writing in different shapes like boxes, triangles, circles, squares. So that kind of helps with the memory side of learning. Your notebook is your notebook. You are able to express yourself in any shape, form, or fashion in your notebook as long as your worksheets are in the correct order and as long as you label them on the table of content. How you decorate those pages, I don't have a problem with you decorating them that way. So, what exactly belongs in the health book, the health notebook? Students should have a notebook that is just for health. I shouldn't find English assignments in the notebook. I shouldn't find math assignments in the notebook. Again, it is my goal to teach students organization skills. A lot of times when you grow up, you don't have a sense of organization because you've never had to organize everything. You've always been able to just put everything in one binder and then just flip through that particular binder and just find it. But as far as health, if you know, okay, my bell work is in the second section, So if I ask you a bell work question, you know to go directly to the second section of your notebook. So that's the importance of the three subject notebook. Everything in that notebook is organized by what exactly it is. Worksheets will be in the front, bell work will be in the middle, notes and definitions in the back. So you know not to look for your definitions in the front of your notebook. You know to automatically go to the back of the notebook for definitions. Okay, so your notebook again is divided into three sections. Section one is for worksheets. Nothing should be in that section except worksheets and notes affiliated with that particular worksheet. Your worksheets should be decorative. They should be colored with little to no white space. I do deduct points if worksheets are not colored. Section two of the notebook will be used for the bell work responses. That part can be kind of tricky because you actually add your bell work question to the first subject in your notebook and you answer the response in the second section. That also helps with organization. Sometimes there are instances where students come to class late and they don't get to sit and write their bell work response during class. If they write the question, they can go back and do the response later. So they write the question on the bell work log, which is in the front of the notebook, and then they write the response in the second section of the notebook. I do allow more than one response on one sheet of paper. So let's say you want to do three per sheet. That's fine with me. Some people do one on the front, one on the back, one on the front, one on the back. That's fine. As long as you have the date for that bell work assignment, how you put it in your notebook is fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. And then the third section of your notebook is strictly for notes and definitions. I shouldn't find bell work in the third section. I shouldn't find any worksheets in the third section, just your notes and your definitions. So this is the cover for the interactive notebook this year. I typically change it every year. I think the first year I did SpongeBob doing some type of exercise. Last year I did Phineas and Ferb. This year I chose a Mickey Mouse cover. So students are to color the cover for their notebook and then they are to paste it on the outside of the notebook. Again, you can use the two-sided tape or you can use the decorative tape. Whichever you choose to do is fine with me as long as it's colored. Your table of content. The seventh graders have a different table of content than my eighth graders, but it's pretty much the same concept. The left side pages belong on this side, the right side belongs on this side. Your table of content does not have a page number. Your page numbers do not start until your bell work log. So this is what the table of content should look like thus far. My seventh graders should have a table of content, a bell work log, the due date sheet, and a goals worksheet. And I'll go through those worksheets as we flip through the presentation. Your bell work log is the very next page in your notebook. It belongs on the right side. This page in your notebook should be labeled page 1. The back of that, or the left side, is labeled page 2. The left side is blank at this point because we'll add it the second semester of school. So page 1, the back of the table of content is blank. Page 1 starts with the bell work log. Page 2 starts on the back. Once you flip over the bell work log on the back, and that'll be page 2. To the right of your second semester bell work log, which again, remember, students don't have that one yet. They won't get that until January. But to the right of that sheet will be the due dates. This is a list of everything that'll be due for the entire school year. This is page 3 in the notebook. Most of these dates are correct. There may be some changes depending on testing, but pretty much this will be when everything is due for the entire year. I recommend that as students turn assignments in, they highlight the assignment, and that kind of lets them know, okay, I've already turned this assignment in. The back of this page is blank. Okay, so the next page will be either the vision board for 8th grade or the We're Thinking About a New Year for my 7th graders. This should be page 5 in your notebook. So right now you should have something on page 1, 3, and 5. My seventh graders have to fill out the circles and stars and color them. How they put them in the notebook is their, however they want to put it in there. All I ask is that you cut it out and shrink it to where it fits into the notebook. Even if you have to just cut the circles and the star out and the titles and questions, that's fine with me too, because that's actually how I put the page in my notebook. For the vision board for my eighth graders, your assignment was to clip out newspaper or magazine clippings that basically describe things that you want to accomplish for the 2018-2019 year. Some of the things that I put on mine was I love sneakers, so I want to kind of work on switching brands of sneakers and doing a little bit more than the brand that I typically wear. I also want to learn how to eat a little bit better, exercise a little more. I want to travel a little more. So those are just some things that I put on my personal vision board. The students are more than welcome to put like whatever the things are that they would like to accomplish on their vision board. Remember, this is page 5 for my eighth graders. This is page 5 for my seventh graders. This is a video on what the eighth grade notebook should look like. I apologize for this not being the turn the correct way. But you can pause it and I can actually start this video over again so that you can see. So as you can see, my cover is colored. That's my table of content, my bell work log, my due dates, and my vision board. And if you notice in those videos, the pages were um, blank on the back. So there should be nothing on the back yet. And then this is my seventh grade notebook, which is pretty much the same. The only difference in the seventh and eighth grade notebook would be the stars worksheet, but everything else is the same as my eighth grade notebook. So this is how I cut my stars worksheet out. Well, let's go back through it. Can I pause it? Yeah. So with my stars worksheet, I pretty much just cut the title out. I cut all the questions out, and then I cut the star out and with the circles, and I just taped them in my notebook. So that's what your pages should look like in your notebook. Again, if you have any questions about the notebook, please email me. I'm more than welcome to answer any questions. Please remember that I will be checking notebooks this coming up week. I will add a copy of the rubric to the not the interactive, to the Google Classroom. I'm sorry. I'll add the rubric to the Google Classroom. That way, everyone will have a copy of what I will be looking for when I grade the notebooks. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to email me, or you're more than welcome to stop by my classroom after school if possible to ask a quick question. Thank you guys for watching. I look forward to seeing your notebooks next week. Enjoy your weekend.